My arsenal has been changing over the years, so I thought it might be interesting for you to see what I value the most in my current arsenal. Let's give us a little bit of a red hue. I don't even know if it looks good if we're going for the red hue, but we're gonna roll with it. I am feeling like shit. So utterly sick. Yesterday, I was lying in the couch here in the studio from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. And then from 5 p.m., I rose from the ashes. I got up from the couch and went into the bed and lighted the bed from 5 p.m. till 6:30 a.m. this morning. But I also felt like I wanted to make this video because I have a couple of things that I want to talk to you about. And this is going to be a little bit different from, the camera gear related videos because I'm going to throw in a little bit extra stuff in there. I mean, we still have some camera stuff, but my arsenal has been changing over the years. So I thought it might be interesting for you to see what I value the most in my current arsenal. So let's dive into it, shall we? Okay. So the first thing that I want to talk about is going to be the Sony ZV-1 or FX3. Now these two cameras are freaking amazing. I've been using ZV-1 ever since it was released freaking 3.5, almost 4 years ago at this point, and it is great. It does have a little bit of an issue with overheating, and some people, especially in hotter climates, might find it a little bit limiting, if you may. But the way that I use it is that I shoot in bursts mostly, and I shoot in vlog mode, which means that I don't shoot long takes. I use it to shoot somewhere between 1 to 20 minutes max at a time. If I want to have anything else, I use this camera, which is my Sony FX3. Whenever I use the Sony ZV-1, I am usually on the go. I want to have something that I can easily bring with me and that doesn't take up too much space and is easy to work with. That is like the key function of why I like that camera so much. You can import your LUTs, you can have all these cool features, and the autofocus is freaking amazing on it as well, especially with all the new lenses. Like, it's so good. And the same thing goes with the FX3. It's a 6-year-old camera this year, which is mind-blowing. But it's also freaking amazing. And I know that there's a lot of people that are waiting for the FX3 Mark II. Trust me, I still am as well. We're sitting here and we're still using this camera, which kind of proves the point of how good it actually is. And I think that anyone that is solely doing video should look into the FX3 if you haven't already. When it comes to lenses that I use for the cameras that I use, there's a multiple different lenses, and I usually do one of those, like my favorite lenses of this year, my favorite lenses of that year. So I'm gonna link them, some here, some down below, maybe towards the end of the video, who knows. But one of my absolute favorite lenses is the 16 to 35. It's just one of those lenses that covers basically the entire range that I feel like I need whenever I'm making videos. And if you're using the ZV-1 or the FX3, you can actually use digital image zoom, which is basically cropping in on the sensor, which gives you a 1.5 times crop extra. So if you have the 16-35, that means that it's going to be equivalent to a 16 to 50 millimeter lens, which I think is fantastic. So to be able to use that whenever you're vlogging or on the go or just shooting videos here in the studio, amazing. But then of course you have specific things when you want to do beauty shots here in the studio. Then you go for something like the 50 millimeter f1.2 or even the macro 100, stuff like that. But that's an entirely different video. But talking about camera gear, we're gonna move on to light and more so the things that you see here in the background. This is actually Nanlite Pavo tubes that is glowing back here. And one of the reasons why I think that the Pavo tubes are so freaking amazing is because not only have I been using them for 6 years straight, but they also give character into the video that you're making. I've actually even designed and 3D printed Pavo tube stands. Take a look at this. Ta-da! You can actually have the charger plugged in right there, but it only works with the newer version 2. Placing them like this works, but they always tend to fall over unless you place them on a really flat surface. Yes, I do agree that they are a little bit on the expensive side, but they also provide you with great freaking light. And to be able to have this kind of light in the back of my videos is something that has helped me over the years to actually achieve my personal look. And I think that that is pretty cool. The same thing also goes for my main light, which is a Nanlite Forza 300B Mark II, so that you can get like nice crystal clear light. And to it, I'm using 60 centimeter softbox because I didn't want it to be too big when I was here in the studio. I wanted it to not take up too much space. That was simply it. Another thing that actually made it into my workflow over the course of Q4 was the small rig Tribex tripod. I gotta be honest and say that I was extremely skeptical about this first, and I didn't think it was performing well, but it was also because I didn't give it a chance to actually, prove itself. So now that I'm using it, it does have its weak points. It's not really as reliable as one would like it to be, but it's incredibly fast to extend and it's very sturdy. And I think that a tripod should be sturdy, reliable, and also easy to use. And this kind of ticks in all the boxes, but it is like when you press it, the hydraulics has a little bit of delay. So if you press it and then put it down, it's gonna be that whoop. But if you just press it, you hold it and then release it and then put it down, then it's gonna be fine. That was kind of the biggest issue that I found with it. I've been using it now for a little bit more than 5 months. It's quick, easy deployment here in the studio, and then I can put it back on the wall. Things like that just makes me happy. And then here at the desk, we have something that is attached under the desk, which is my Mac Mini M4 Pro. I purchased this last year. I did not think that it would be able to manage all the things that I threw at it to begin with, because let's face it, I'm using a lot of different programs. Illustrator, Lightroom, Photoshop, Fusion 360, Bambu Studio, Final Cut Pro. That's just a few of them that I have running at the same time when I'm sitting here at the computer. And the mind-blowing thing is that it can still manage to work without any issues in all these programs in real time. I was actually thinking about making a review on the entire computer, but I felt like I don't know what to say because it's just great. So if you're looking to buy one, highly recommend. And then on this side, I have an iPad desk stand from Kuxio. And the cool thing with this is that I can take off my iPad just like that, but I can also put it back simple because it's attached with magnets. And it's charging. So whenever you put it on the iPad stand, it's charging without any cables actually attached to it. And it's sturdy. I did not think it would be this good, but it actually is. And none of this is sponsored, by the way, just so you know. This is stuff that I just like, that I found their way into my workflow. And then we're moving on to the next thing, a 3D printer. The amount of joy I've had with the 3D printer is unmeasurable. There's been so many things coming out of this head into the actual physical world with the help of 3D printer. And I'm talking about the Bambu Lab's H2D, the X1C, and the A1. There's so many different options, but Bambu Lab is the brand that I've chosen to go for, not only because it's simple to use, but they also provide you with an entire solution, if you may. So if you go and purchase, say, the Bambu Lab's A1, then you can just plug it in, start printing from the get-go. You don't need to sit down and learn all the things that I've learned over the course of the last years. You can just print something that I've designed. I'm actually gonna link my MakerWorld profile down below so you can go there and download the things that I've designed, such as my EXO boxes, or a speaker holder for the Sonos One, or maybe the desk mount for the Mac Mini. Like, there's so many things that me and other people have designed that you can get started with without learning. And I think that that is amazing. But when it comes to actually creating stuff with the 3D printer, something that I've learned to use and something that I love to use to this day is this, which is called a space mouse. And there's been so many people that has asked me, like, what is it that you do with this? Like, do you use it for editing? No, it has absolutely nothing to do with editing. It only has to do with designing CAD designs in Fusion 360. But the cool thing is that you kind of move the object around in 3D space in a different way, and just speeds up the entire process. And that, for me, has been a game changer when it comes to 3D design and understanding the concepts and how you actually work with designing things in Fusion. I even designed my own phone case for the iPhone 17 Pro. Don't get a 3D printer if you want to have time left in your life. Then we have this, which is a caliper from Mitutoyo. And It's a very expensive caliper, but it's also very precise, and you can feel the craftsmanship that has gone into this. It is never losing track whenever you pull it out, and it is always incredibly precise. Like, you can use a ruler, you can do that, but this is going to help you in the long run to actually understand how precise your measurements are. It's one of those things that I just love to have. Not only because it's useful, but also because it looks cool. I don't know why. And the last thing is going to be my Thunderbolt cable. This Thunderbolt cable is something that I've designed together with UPO. There's been so much time and energy going down into this, trying to bring you the best Thunderbolt cable, the most durable Thunderbolt cable that I could. And this part of the plastic here is actually something that I've tried to break on all the different samples that we got. TPE 100 plastic is what we went for. Super durable. And I actually use them for basically all the different things that is connected to my computer or my Thunderbolt dock. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more B-roll videos, move somewhere else, because I'm not making them anymore. And stop freaking commenting on my videos that I should make more B-roll videos. Yeah, you guys know who you are. Anyway, Peter from Sweden is saying thank you for watching. Hope that you have a good one and that you're feeling better than me. I really hope that I'm gonna feel much better when I see you in the next video. Anyway, have a good one. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe, by the way.